My name's Alana. I'm a second-year student worker at the ASU library. So in the last video, we made this ball of plarn, and today I'm going to show you guys how to use it to make a tote bag. So this is 2-inch plarn. It is about maybe 20-30 bags in this ball, which should be enough for either a long and shallow tote bag or a skinny and tall tote bag. So today we're going to be making a longer dimensioned and shallow body tote bag. What you're going to want to do first is get your crochet hook. My crochet hook is an 8mm, but you can use anywhere from the 6.5 to 10 range, depending on the size of your hands and the size of your plarn. What we're going to do first is take the end of our plarn and we're going to turn that into a slip knot. There are many ways to do a slip knot. My favorite way is to wrap it around my fingers. So I wrap it around my hand twice, and then I pull the first end over, but leave it on my fingers, and I pull the new first end over and off of my fingers. And as long as you hold on to the original end, you get a slip knot. And so this is the foundation of most crochet pieces. It is where you insert your hook, and then you're just going to tighten that to about the size of your hook. When crocheting, you always want to leave your first row quite loose so that you can get back into it. It's a very important thing to do, especially with plarn, which does not have a lot of stretch. This is what you're going to start with. It's going to be a long string, and we are going to do 35 chains. So to do a chain, you're going to pull the yarn from the back over the hook, grab the knot, and pull the hook through. That is going to give you your first chain. You're going to do that 34 more times. You really want to emphasize the fact that your loops are quite loose. You definitely want to be able to see space between them because that's where your hook is going to go in the next row. Once you've hit your 35th stitch, you are going to turn your work, and so to do that, I like to just grab it and turn it around. Then we're going to go on to row 2. For row 2, we're going to insert into the previous chains to build up the piece. So to do that, we are going to be using half double crochets. I chose this stitch mostly because it is the strength of a single crochet, but with the thickness of a double crochet so that you get the most out of your plarn. Because it's a half double crochet instead of a regular double crochet, it does take a little bit longer. You're more than welcome to use a double crochet, but you might not get the same strength from it. To do a half double crochet, you're gonna pull the yarn over your hook the same way you did in the first row. Then you're gonna insert it into the gap in your chain, right here. You insert your hook and pull the yarn over one more time. Then you're gonna pull that first strand through the second, leaving 3 loops on your hook. You're gonna pull the yarn over one more time, and you're gonna pull it through, You're gonna pull it through all 3 loops. Might need a bigger hook. That is gonna be your first double crochet, and you're gonna repeat that all the way down the end of the strand. So we'll do it one more time. Yarn over, pull your hook through the loop, yarn over one more time, pull that through the first loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3. Because of the nature of the plastic in plarn, it is quite hard to crochet with. I recommend going up a hook size and making sure that your tension is low so that you have the most freedom with your plarn. Once you've reached the end of your row, it should look something like this. Again, we're gonna turn our work, but we're not gonna turn it the way that you think. You're not going to continue to work through the top. Instead, you're going to turn it to continue through the bottom of the other side of the chain. This is going to give you that round shape and the signature like tote bag look. So to do that, we are going to add 1 chain stitch for some space, and then you're gonna yarn over and insert into the bottom of the chain you put your last double crochet into. You're gonna continue to double crochet around the bottom of the chain. It should be a lot easier now that you've already put those first double crochets on the other side of the chain. The chain should be relatively loose and easy to work in. As we approach the end of the bottom chain stitches, we're going to connect the 2 rows. So to do that, now that we're here, we're going to connect these 2 rows so that we can continue to go around and make that tote bag look. To do that, you're going to insert your hook into that first double crochet. Your first double crochet is going to look somewhat funky. So it's going to be the end double crochet. There are 2 distinct loops right here, and you're going to insert into both of them. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. This is going to connect those 2 rows together before chaining 2 and beginning crocheting through both loops on the next row. So you're going to yarn over, insert into both loops on the second row, yarn over again, pull through, yarn over, pull through all. That is going to start your second row, and you're going to continue to go all the way around the entire work. When you get back here, well, I'll show you what you do when you get back there. But you're going to continue to do the half double crochets throughout the entire piece. That and the single crochet, or not that. That and the slip stitch is going to be the only 2 that you use for the entirety of the work. As you get to the end of your row, you're going to go ahead and slip into that first double crochet again and pull through, and then chain 2. And you're going to continue this process over and over again until you get the height of the bag that you desire. The bag I'm making today is only going to be about this high. So now that I've gotten to the height that I like, I'm going to add the straps. To add the straps, you're going to start the same way you've been doing it. I'm starting from my chain 2 position, and I'm going to insert into my row, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through all. You're going to want to continue your half double crochets until about the midpoint of the bag. Around the midpoint is where you're going to skip this region in order to add the straps that are then going to go up and around. And I'll show you what that looks like. When you're making your straps, you want to take into account the width of your shoulder. I like to leave myself about 6 inches. So I line up the 6-inch mark with my last stitch, and then I mark where I need to reinsert. So To add your straps, instead of going through the chain, you're going to create an entirely new chain that will be the straps. So for the first row, you're just going to chain your desired length. The longer you want your straps, the more chains you're going to use, but make sure that you keep track of how many chains you use, because you're going to want to do this twice on both sides. For my bag, I'm using a chain of 40 to be my first and second strap. This is about the length that it's going to be. And then to reinsert onto the bag so that you can continue crocheting, you're going to start with the one loop that is still on your hook. You're going to yarn over, insert into both loops where you want to reconnect, yarn over, pull through one, yarn over again, and pull through all. This is going to give you a double crochet right where you want to reattach, the same way that you disconnected. And then you can continue double crocheting till you get to the other side. As you work with this pattern, you'll notice that your bag sort of naturally has a fold in it. That's the result of working through one chain on both sides. So that is going to build up both sides of your bag rather than having to make two panels, which you then sew together. This overall saves you a lot of time and also minimizes the amount that you're going to have to cut the yarn over and over again. You use one long strand throughout the entire piece instead of using a bunch of pieces and then piecing them together, putting them together. As you start to approach the other side, you want to make sure that it's clear where your first strap is so that you can copy the same design on the other side. So here I'm going to start my chain of 40. And then again, I'm going to insert at the same mark on the other side of the bag. So it's going to be right here. Because we're skipping crochets, we're going to have a nice space for our shoulder. But if you wanted to do a handle that you held on like the corner, you would insert in the same spot that you left. And you continue to double crochet around the remainder of the bag. After your first row of handles, your bag should look something like this. It's more of a beach bag size, but you can fit most things in it. Because your handles are still so thin, we're going to do another row of handles just to secure it. For this row, you're going to start back at your chain 2 space and continue to double crochet all the way along. So you're going to start here, and you're going to double crochet through the chains that are your handles. That way you add some thickness to your handles, and also it's a little bit more comfortable on your arm. When you get to the first chain of your handle, you're going to go ahead and yarn over as you have been, insert into that chain, and continue your double crochets through the chain. Once you reach the end of your first handle, you're going to go ahead and double crochet back into the body of the bag. This will just continue to build the bag up just a small amount while keeping the handles separate. As you can see, just one more row in that handle is going to give you twice the thickness of the first handle. I like to keep my handles at about 2 rows because I find that over that becomes a little bit bulky and under that isn't quite as stable. And then you're going to continue to double crochet through the body until you reach the second handle, which you're going to do the same thing to. And then after you've done both of your handles and you've continued to crochet your body until the place where the bag meets, you're going to go ahead and connect that body one more time, pull through, and then this time you're going to do one more slip stitch, but it's blank. When you pull that off, it'll connect the bag and break the last of your yarn off. And then you have one completed bag that is still stretchy and will get the job done, but isn't gonna break. This tote bag is a great size for like your laptop, books, your water bottle, things like that. The bigger your size is, the more you can hold, obviously, and the thicker you should make your plarn. So if you're gonna use this for groceries, I would keep it relatively light because it is not that big. But if you wanted to make a very big one, I would go up to about 3 inches on your plarn and then just double the size on this bag pattern. At the ASU Library, we believe in the importance of sustainability. If you're looking to expand your knowledge on the topic, we've got a great selection of books recommended by the experts at OpenStax. Feel free to take a look and see what interests you. That's all for this project. Thanks for following along with me, and good luck with your sustainable practices. My arm does fit through this one, I think. The first one I ever did, my arm didn't fit. And I was like, well, this is useless.